Welcome to episode 131 of the Get Well With Me podcast. I am your host, Adrienne, and together we explore the healing powers of our subconscious mind while we lean in towards a healthier lifestyle. And our philosophy here is excellence, not perfection. Today, I wanted to just briefly chat with you about something that comes up over and over. I mean, over and over, every coaching session, one-to-one, mastermind, business networking, all the things that I do to connect, to stay in touch, to up-level myself, to encourage others, all of these things, there is this theme, and it's a fear of self-promotion. I have friends who recently published books and fear of self-promotion, right? I have friends who are creators. They have started podcasts, but they didn't quite keep it going. Um, Friends who are in business, they're professionals. And in order for them to be successful and provide for their family and add value to the community, they need to self-promote. For some reason, it seems to be universal. There is this mental, invisible shield that can hold a person back from self-promotion. A big part of it, at least speaking from my own experience, something that held me back quite a bit was the thought of what will someone else think. And I know all the quotes that, what someone else thinks is none of my business. And I love that. And I subscribe to that. But the truth is that even after all of this time, when I publish an episode, there's still like these little shadow thoughts, these little specks, these little flashes of, what if so and so watches this and what will they think, right? Or sometimes I often think to myself, there are people that kind of like secretly watch me. And I don't know if they're hoping that I'll succeed or if they're hoping that I'll fail, but there are big people, right, in my life that just like pretend that this podcast isn't happening. Like I can see that they viewed my stories, but they don't like them or anything. It's just like silence. And I could perceive that in so many different ways, and I could think so many different things. And I am sad to admit to you that sorry, I don't know what's happening there, that I have spent way too much time thinking about what other people think. In addition to that, I think that culturally we want to be, and even spiritually, we want to be humble. So sometimes we feel like self-promotion isn't in alignment with that. But ultimately, we are the ones who are designing our life. We are the ones that have to live out our life. We are the ones that, if we're lucky enough when we're old, very old, and we're on our deathbed looking back, we're going to really be sad if we didn't take those risks and put ourselves out there, so to speak. So when I think about years and years that went by that I allowed hypnosis to be my secret superpower instead of the one that I shared with the world, when I think of all the years that I suffered through corporate careers because I thought that that is what was acceptable, that I thought that's how people can accept me if I show up. And I don't want to be dramatic and say like I suffered, like it was so bad. I mean, I got paid well. I actually benefited greatly from my careers in the past. And I'm thankful for that. And I was able to build up a lot of the skills that I have today. However, if I could go back and do it again, I would have taken all of that youthful energy, drive, determination, ability to learn, even like just in your 20s and early 30s, where, you can stay up until 1 a.m. and wake up at 6 a.m. My husband and I joke all the time, like 9:30 is the new midnight. And don't get me wrong, I love to stay up late and I love to party on the weekends and have a great time. So I have this beautiful rhythm and balance where I have healthy weekdays and a good bedtime because I want to show up. I want to show up for you, but I take the weekends off. Okay. So I am ready to have a good time. Whatever it is, the barbecue, the birthday party, the beach day. I absolutely love it. So you can find that rhythm and that harmony and that balance in your mind and your body and your experience. But all the while, if we are holding ourselves back, if we are the ones that have the invisible door closed, I just want to encourage you, the time is going to pass anyway. It's going to go by anyway. A year from now, it's going to be, as of the date of this publishing, July 17th, 2024. And at that time, I won't be turning 42. I'll be turning 43. And oh, I think I just let that slip. That's my birthday, Monday, July 17th. That's my birthday. So I am turning 42. And I think that's what's causing all of this self-reflection, right? I'm thinking back to this time last year. I was really, I had been podcasting for a while. I had been sharing my hypnosis downloads. And I just got to this point where I was like, you know what? You're still holding yourself back. You're at like a 4 instead of a 10 on a scale of 1 to 10, right? And like, what was the gap between the 4 and the 10? It's fear of self-promotion. I have to tell you, when I started hitting publish on my videos and I look back at them now and I'm like, man, they're not so good. Like, I am proud of myself for showing up, but the cell phone I was recording them on was brutal, right? It's like, just, I don't know. What I'm saying is, it was not perfect. It wasn't even excellent. But anything that is worth doing well is worth doing poorly first, because that's how we get good. The time is going to pass anyway. People do sometimes judge us. They have to. It is their human nature. It's okay. It's okay to be rejected. It's okay. And when we get a no, it's okay to take it as a challenge instead of a rejection. It's okay to remain curious, find out why. It could be a challenge, right? When I get nasty comments online, I like to use it as a challenge to put myself in their shoes, see where they're coming from, and respond kindly. It's very rare that I can't turn someone around when I meet them really where they are with sincerity. But also, there are just trolls out there. And guess what? We don't want trolls to be our friends, and we don't want them to consume our our content. But if they want to comment on it, that can even boost the algorithm. So bring it on, everybody. Um, but self-promotion, I just want to challenge you. Like, what is holding you back? It could even just be like, I'm saying self-promotion on any level. For instance, even the clothes that you wear, right? Like, you're going somewhere and you're like, I don't know. Is that, what are people going to think when I show up a little bit different, a little bit upgraded, or with a new haircut or confidently? I mean, I haven't been, I guess, on the dating scene ever in my whole life, right? I met my husband when I was 16, so I don't really know what that's like, but I would imagine that you have to put yourself out there, right? I would imagine that you're going to have to self-promote a little bit, and that's okay. And getting rejected is okay. Every successful person is rejected, and it's okay. So empower yourself, because yes, pep talks like this can help. Um, Hypnosis recordings definitely help because they get right in there to the part of your mind that is running the show. But ultimately, radical responsibility for your mind. If you have a desire to be successful and you know that that requires self-promoting, whether you're opening up a new dental practice or a real estate office or starting your own video game channel or Twitch channel or whatever it is for you. And believe me, it is something different for you, and it's not too small and it's not too big. It's for you. It's unique to you. There's no other voice out there like mine, right? And there's no other voice out there like yours. We have the most beautiful uniqueness, and we can own it and not everyone's going to like it. I don't like everyone. I run into some people that just rub me the wrong way, and sometimes I'm not sure why. I'd like to think that that's my intuition, but ultimately, I don't know why. I just don't jive with some people, and some people don't know why they just don't jive with me, and that's okay. So if you have something you want, ask, right? Ask with class. That's what Gary Vee says. You can take no as a challenge instead of a rejection, and you can help to lower the resistance to rejection and create a resilience around the judgments of others by adopting your own mantra or affirmation. Something that I like to use is some will, some won't. So what? Move on. It's okay. Some will, some won't. So what? Move on. And you know what? Some people will buy your product. Some people will be your client. Some people won't. And the only thing we can do to mess up our progress is not move on. So keep it moving. Okay. Also, obviously, we need a hypnosis around this self-promotion thing. If you are a person who is a coach or an internet creator or personality or something to that effect, or any of these kind of other examples that I gave you, I would really, really appreciate your valuable feedback by putting in, send me an email. Like if you're not on Spotify, just go to age@adriannehart.com, age@adriannehart.com. If you are on Spotify, use the little box there. And I would like to know specifically what your hangups are with self-promotion and if you have a certain thing that is helpful for you to hear. And I will put it into a hypnosis recording and put it on the podcast for free for everyone, because there are endless numbers of people who need to know that it is safe to dream big. It's even safe to dream small. The sad thing is that when we hold ourselves back, because if you have something that you're meant to give to the world and you're not giving it because you're living by fear instead of faith, then that's really sad. And if you have something that you need to put out to the world and you're holding yourself back, you're afraid to put your face on the internet, you're afraid to put your words on the internet, you're afraid to be vulnerable with people. Maybe you're suffering from a little bit of imposter syndrome, where you just feel like, who am I, right? I'm going to get found out. I'm just a regular person. Do you know everyone feels that way? Right? We look at these big names and these big personalities, and they're this and they're that. Have you ever, as here's something that might help to shift our perception. Have you ever heard someone tell you, oh, so and so is coming to town, and they have such a huge following, and you're like, they're just Joe Schmo to me. Well, you know what? Everyone deep down in their heart knows they are just a Joe Schmo. I'm a Joe Schmo, you're a Joe Schmo, and we're all just regular people. So don't put anyone on a pedestal, and don't let anyone put you on a pedestal, because we're just all regular people. And most of the time they're not thinking about you anyway. So I double dog dare you to take action on your vision, on your goal, on your purpose, on your thing, because it's yours and it is important. And you will attract the people that resonate with your message, and you will attract the people who need what you have to give, but not if you keep it to yourself. So back to the feedback thing, I want to make a hypnosis recording to help the type of person who I just described, which, as far as I know, is everyone that has a purpose and fear. So if you struggle with self-promotion, what is it that you struggle with? If you could just put that into the feedback box, that would really help me to craft helpful hypnotic suggestions, because I know what goes on in my mind, and I hear a little bit here and a little bit there. But let's do that. If you're not driving or something, let's put our hands on our heart and just visualize that in this moment. Let's just take a moment, just a moment to notice that it is safe to be here now. And let's take a moment to remember that it is safe to have a dream and to take action on it. And I invite you just to imagine how you feel at that moment when you need to record that video, or you need to hit publish, or you need to knock on that door, or do that cold call, or whatever form of self-promotion. That feeling that you get, like, notice where it is in your body. Is it in the pit of your stomach? Is it up in your head? Sometimes people feel it in their neck. Maybe it doesn't feel like anything in your body. Maybe it feels like a specific thought or specific words, and you know exactly what they are because they pop up just when you don't need them to. And what if in that time that what popped into your head was an affirmation that I can do this? It's worth it. It doesn't matter what someone else thinks. I'm not going to let that hold me back from giving my gift to the world. And I invite you now to open your eyes when you're ready. And if you were able to do that with me, and you did get some feedback from yourself, and you were able to hone in on exactly what that thought is that pops up, or what that feeling feels like, then please share it with me, because I will use my zone of genius to make hypnotic suggestions and helpful affirmations and tie in beautiful metaphors. And we will go right inside that beautiful mind of yours and make it even more beautiful, because that's what you deserve. And if you have a gift to give to the world, you can no longer allow yourself to hold yourself back. Imagine what it looks like when you open the door. In New Jersey, we have a thing where we're kind of rude. But we have this thing where we open the door for each other. Like, if you go into the convenience store, you open the door, you hold the door, you hold the door, you wait for others to run up to the door, you say thank you. It's like this Jersey way that's might be where our hospitality ends, but we hold the door. And you know what? It feels good when someone holds the door for you. You know, you don't have to push it open, you just walk right through. So imagine you're holding the door open for yourself and you walk right through to the other side, to that life where you have fearless self-promotion and you feel good about it because it gets you more of what you want in your life, and it helps to connect you with others who need what you have to give. So that is the inspiration of my heart for the day. And I hope that it was helpful. If this resonates with you and you think, oh, geez, all of my health coaching friends need to hear this talk, or maybe you want to gather their feedback so we can do that hypnosis. And hey, what do you think about doing a live group hypnosis on that topic? So throwing it all out there. Until next time, much love. You're already a friend of mine because you're tuned in to the Get Well with Me podcast. And I want you to come and hang out with me this Wednesday and experience the magic of a live group hypnosis session on Zoom. So look for the link to sign up for Wellness Wednesday in the episode description. And don't resist the urge to click that link, because I'd absolutely love to see you there.